The surveillance system I would say is probably globally deployed is actually pretty much in everything. I mean, you can come over here and this is a Protect 1207i. It's a multi-channel wireless protocol detector. It basically will pick up the surveillance stuff that's in my house. And at this point, it's actually showing that there's no signals in my house of any wireless protocols. You can see nothing lights up. They control everything for the most part. Now, since they turned it off, I can't go into detail other than what you can read in the book, in the Kingdom of Heaven. The first few chapters I detail specifically where all the devices are in this house. I had this house built new, and I guess I moved in, I think in March of 2006. At that time, I was actually enrolled in gay conversion therapy by an NSA operative named Father Anthony Nelson in Oklahoma City from St. Benedict's Russian Orthodox Church. He's not actually a Russian Orthodox priest, although he canonically is. He's basically a Catholic priest. He originally was a Catholic priest, and my idea is probably a member of the Jesuit Society. He then, infiltrated Orthodoxy through the Antiochian Orthodox Church, and then from there filled the spot in Oklahoma City in the Russian Orthodox Diocese. And it prevents another Russian Orthodox priest from Holy Mother Russia actually being able to come and fill that spot in Oklahoma City. I had some conversations with him. He's admitted to being an NSA operative. He's admitted to putting me under the gay conversion therapy. He gets a salary from the government and collects the tithes from the church. Unfortunately, in this situation, I've taken this device into the church, and even the place where you stand and pray is bugged. So there's no place in that church where your confession is even safe. And part of the research project they put me under was basically they wanted to, see what impact and influences they could have on changing behaviors in my life and changing my life. And unfortunately, one extreme leads to the other. And in the end, they pretty much got caught doing what they were doing by Russia and China. And that's why I was able to even publish the book called The Kingdom of Heaven. I had to go to the Russian embassy on March 18th of 2015 and write a letter to Mr. Putin to even be able to publish that book. And that book is really specific. The only thing they made me take out of there was where they poisoned me by anthrax. But they let me tell about some of the other stuff, and they wouldn't. If you read the synopsis and on the back cover, you won't see that it's going into detail about some of the stuff that I'm telling you. It is rebranded as Unseen Warfare, and that synopsis details a little more. The second book of the series is Pimps and Priests. The third one is called The Heresy, and hopefully within another week I'll start working on the fourth book of the series. And my Wi-Fi is working, and over here it's showing that it's working. Now, it'll even tell you the band Wi-Fi and high frequency and everything. It lights up and tells you what protocol is being displayed, what it is actually picking up, what frequency of the multi-band signal. Now let's go over here, and I want to show you on my computer. Today we have each one of these instances here is a different person that's logged into my computer today with the NSA, looking at what we're doing and actually the book that I was editing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on each line, times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's 40 different computers or different people that are logged into the system right now that are basically listening and watching us. This one's actually not turned on to the frequency that it's normally turned on to. Normally this thing would be lit up on like 4 or 5 different bandwidths, showing that it transmits on every frequency and every signal. They pretty much got this one turned off at this time. It's just on one signal it's transmitting off of, which is Wi-Fi. So they've basically shut the system on Bluetooth there just for a second. So it picked up the Bluetooth transmission coming from it. But normally you'd see this thing, if they had it fully activated, these lights would be lit up all the way across, just some of them very, very, very heavily lit up. I'm going to go to this little device here. Look at this. This is a paper shredder, and it's setting the thing off. This wall outlet transmits both in Wi-Fi and in Bluetooth, if you were able to capture that lit up. But we're going to go through the house here, and I'm going to just take you through. So even this light right here is turned off. It's not transmitting. It's not showing any signal at all. Look at this. At will, they can turn off the surveillance system that's globally deployed or turn it on at will. It's their choice. And it's a good thing, because not everybody is going to get the kind of attention that I've been getting and have the type of, no place to hide situation. We can go in here and look at some of this stuff. And this one's now turned completely off. There's absolutely nothing on. This device will actually pick up the computer processor frequency of the CPU that's built into these devices. I'd say they're about the tip of a pin. it also picks up the bandwidth that they transmit on, which is all these different frequencies. They can transmit through the power grid, they can transmit through the CDMA, through the GSM, through the Bluetooth, through the Wi-Fi, and you know, basically Wi-Fi Max and Detect 3.0. I mean, earlier we had a signal coming off of my doorbell, and there's nothing coming off my doorbell. There's nothing coming off of this, and nothing coming off of this. And earlier we had a Wi-Fi signal coming off of this. As you can see, coming in here, all of these are turned off too, but now it's been turned on this tech to just to detect. This system is, right now, is fully pretty much shut down, but even with it shut down, it still occasionally transmits a signal. But I wanted to show you, in your bathroom mirror, there's actually, the same technology is deployed. If they didn't have this turned off right now, my water faucet would have signals coming off of it, even the knobs on my cabinet. So there's a Bluetooth signal. Do you see the Bluetooth light lit up for a second? These things were actually, in my house, are actually surveillance devices. This one's lit up a little higher. And the reason being, there's something embedded in this wall right here that makes this room a little special. It's turned off. There, detect though, you got a detect signal and a Bluetooth signal. And when this stuff isn't turned off, these lights are lit up like massively across the screen right in here. But it's pretty much disabled. And this one's pretty much turned off right now too. Just very little signals coming out of it. Now, I could maybe force it to reset itself by doing a couple of things. Do you guys want to turn the surveillance system back on, and let's document that so you can show the difference between it being on and being off? Testing, testing. See, this one's completely turned off now where the bug is into my fireplace. These are all turned off. Everything in my house is completely turned off. I have been into numerous houses in the addition, and I can tell you from the ones that I've been into that they're all turned on to some degree. Some of them are, and it could be simply because I've actually visited with some different members of the NSA, and they have told me that they were watching me while I went into these houses. So they could just simply, because of the surveillance that I'm under, I go into a place with my cell phone on, they know I'm walking into the house, they can just instantly turn the stuff on, or they can turn it back off as soon as I leave. It's in every business, it's in every house, it's in your automobiles, it's built into electronic devices that you buy at the store. You really can't get away from it. It's even built in things that aren't electronic. So, because these devices don't have to require a power source, I mean, they've got it all turned off. So even with them turning it off, this thing is still picking up the computer processors from time to time, but it's not registering and transmitting. Even with my internet on, you see it's not even picking up the Wi-Fi signal from my internet, and the Wi-Fi covers the whole house. So they were in essence even able to disable the Wi-Fi signal from my router going throughout my whole house, because there is nothing's coming on. You can see the signals coming off my phone. Pretty massive signals, right? Now, when they have this thing turned on in your house, you'll get real similar signals, except look, they're even able to disable the signals on my phone. Look at that. For a second ago, you could see all the signals, and now they're like lower. They've shut them down. Because they're actually, you know, the phone is obviously, now there, look at that. Now it's lit up again. So they can turn off the surveillance device built into your phone, into your house, into everything at any will they have. And then they're just doing it right there for us to let us see it. They're turning it on and off. Let's see if they got these turned on. Now, hey, they actually turned these on for us. Now we got them turned on again. Pretty cool. And they turned it back off. Did you get a picture of that when it was turned on?
A little bit.
So, if they want to show us, I mean, now they decided to turn it off. And now we're turned on, look. And now we're turned off, completely turned off. Look at that. So at least they're helping us somewhat here, huh? They just don't want us to go through the house and document, you know, all the nails in my cabinets and the knobs on my cabinets and the places in the walls of my house that I was going to take you to and show you these devices. But they are letting us see this right here, that they can turn it on and off at will, even your phone.